Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Week 4, Day number 4 of NLCS. Of course, this is brought to you in part by TESPA, or not TESPA, it's NCSPA. It's the other SPA out there, National Collegiate League of Legends, or National League of Legends Collegiate Association. Yeah, I was working on it. We're getting back into this, and we're into our last game of the night here as University of British Columbia take on SJSU. Now, San Jose State University have been titans of the collegiate scene for a very long time, coming up on a year, maybe a little bit more than that, but having had a bunch of success most recently coming into this week number 4 at top spot, or second place spot in their region. I think they're actually tied for first place, even though Texas A&M does have a couple more losses. They just played more games out there, but still 4 wins apiece for the top 2 teams, something that UBC has now achieved after their last victory over Oregon State University. So coming in here with 4 wins apiece for both of these teams, this will be a battle for first place in the division. Texas A&M get to play their 5th game, or their I think it's going to be their 7th game, because they already have 6 points up there on the board, 2 in the loss category. So this will be a battle for first place for both of these teams. They will look to overtake Texas A&M there in the first place spot, and we're already into picks and bans. So let's go ahead and talk about the exciting stuff. We got bans out there: Xerath, Syndra, and Rengar. No love here for Arxie/, banning out his long-range champion pool there in Xerath and Syndra bans. But of course, very different bans from SJSU because they have different things to focus. I mean, maybe they take out Bobchin's Yasuo. That's something I would have done after his 10-2 performance last game. At least I think that was the last time I checked his score. But now actually going for the Zed pick here, and maybe they're doing it a little bit ahead of schedule because he doesn't know what he's picking Zed into, just knows that it's something he wants to play. And actually, somewhat ironically enough, UBC saving both their AD carry and jungle picks for last. That's a little bit weird. Another thing that's also equally strange is to see no Lee Sin ban. I mean, the Vi ban versus proof of purchase, I mean, I guess that's okay, but the problem is, Lee Sin is so good. Lee Sin, Loctran has completely hard carried games on Lee Sin before, so I'm excited to see whether or not that will be one of their next couple of picks, because, all of the picks for UBC are power picks. They're the ones that they have to have in their team comp. Not necessarily ones that they've, used to maybe take champions away from SJSU. So San Jose, they actually don't go with the Lee Sin pick. That's actually kind of surprising to me. They saved their jungler pick for first and got that Kha'Zix. I was thinking maybe you see Arxie/ move the Kha'Zix to the mid lane. He's done that before, although not something that we've seen very recently. So I would have liked to see that pick come out, but no, Kha'Zix is a very, very strong jungler right now. More damage than almost any jungler out there, unless you're on a hyper carry like Master Yi or something, but probably won't be seeing that out there. Remy and XDG Proof. Of course, they're jungler, but Proof of Purchase, as his friends like to call him. I don't know if his friends actually call him Proof of Purchase. I mean, if somebody walks up to you in class and hey, I don't know, maybe that's a Zion Spartan situation, but he is actually going to be the one to lock in Lee Sin here. And honestly, I mean, Kha'Zix is strong, and maybe Proof of Purchase was actually going to play that, although he's been sort of kind of trying towards the more utility-based aggressive junglers like Jarvan IV, like things like Elise, and Lee Sin is going to get locked in. So very, very strong jungle pick there, and actually kind of not necessarily taking that away from SJSU, but if you look at what they're going for, this is actually going to be a big kind of reset composition. You've got the AD carry with one, jungler with one, and even though there's no Katarina mid lane, still the big idea is that you want to lock somebody down. Now, Jakiro hovering over Teemo there for a brief second is not a big mystery. He is a Teemo main, but he's probably going to go with a Rumble pick here, and this is something that he's liked to play previously as a champion, but never really got the opportunity to until things hit Worlds and everybody and their mother's playing Rumble top lane. There's look, the ability to lock down a specific area in a team fight, turns out it's actually ridiculously effective, and I like it comboed here with the Lissandra pick for Arxie/. Even though Lissandra maybe not a top tier pick, what it does do very well is lock down very mobile champions, and on top of a Rumble equalizer, you're going to take so much damage. If that is actually the last pick, got 2 seconds to change it up there. Jakiro, what you going to do? It does look like the Rumble is getting locked in there. SJSU San Jose will pick up that, and I like the team comp here from SJSU because it guarantees you almost guarantees you at least one reset. However, those resets are not going to be coming as easily as you'd expect. A lot of people have problems with that, but it's going to be Zilean. Remy getting that basically every time. I would have liked to see a Zilean ban instead of the Vi ban. I don't think that banning out Vi against Proof of Purchase is really all that warranted. Not because he's not a good Vi player, he's a great Vi player. The only problem is, like, I mean, Vi's not that great a champion, like, especially not when you compare it to things like Lee Sin. Like, giving that champion away and, more importantly, not picking it, I don't know. Might wind up biting SJSU, we'll see how that all works out. We'll go ahead and check out things as we hop into the game here in about 3 minutes, but let's go ahead and run down the team compositions real fast and kind of talk about what's going on out there. Biggest thing, once again, is going to be that top lane. It's a terrible matchup for Maokai. We've seen UBC run Maokai twice in a row here, and while Daijurjur had a rough game in the previous series, if he has one of those in this series, it's going to cost them the game, because against Rumble, like, that's a top lane champion. There aren't actually a lot of these out there. Most top lane champions tend to be like really big super tanks, so you're not really looking at them as a damage threat. But if you fall behind a Rumble as a Maokai, like, that's not only just going to kill you and your lane over and over again, but it's going to kill your team over and over again. When you talk about, like we said, that combo with Lissandra's ultimate keeping you in one place, makes it a little bit easier to lock down the Rumble ultimate. There's also a slow field around the Lissandra ult, so it's going to make it an area you generally don't want to be in. Now, very mobile team comp here from UBC with a revive on it in the form of Zilean. It's a great way to avoid the equalizer. And I mean, you got Living Shadow, you got Valkyrie, you've got the speed buff there from Chrono Shift on Zilean, you've got the Safeguard from Proof of Purchase. It's all looking like a great way to avoid the Rumble ult, avoid the Lissandra ult. But it's still going to be rough if they get locked down, and that's something Lissandra is very, very good at doing. So that is going to do it for our Champion Select portion of our last game of the night here. UBC, they got a very versatile, very mobile team comp. They are taking on SJSU, kind of the kings of team fighting. These guys are not afraid to force a fight because I think they got a good team comp to do it with this game. So we're actually going to take about a minute to take a break. Of course, make sure to support collegiate esports everywhere by disabling your ad block while we run some ads during this little break time. And of course, make sure to head over to ncspa.com if you're interested in standings, rosters, or any information about this NLCS season. My name is Rapidcasting. I'll be guiding you through tonight's games when we get back with UBC taking on SJSU here in the last game of the night, week 4, day number 4 by NLCS. Stick around, we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. NLCS Week 4, day number 4, and we're coming at you with our last game of the night. It's the University of British Columbia coming out once again on the blue side. They'll be taking on SJSU. San Jose State University. This is their gold team. It's their primary roster. It's the one that has been one of the strongest rosters in collegiate esports for at least the last year or so. SJSU and UBC, titans of the collegiate scene. And we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about why that is. You got challengers on both sides. Proof of Purchase, a great jungler, has had a lot of professional competitive experience. They also have Bobcat XD, the legendary hero of Team Infinite Odds. If you guys go way back in the challenger scene, this guy's been putting in some work for a very long time. Maybe a little bit of weakness there in their top lane, and Divergent, we'll have to see if that is enough here to maybe cost them a little bit of this early pressure. Now, a lot of pressure on a Divergent. Rocket jump skilled at level 1. It's going to force those flashes out. Slow still on to Divergent. Bobshin's coming in there. Knockup coming out. There's first blood in the jungle on Locktran. So he's already getting those resets going. Of course, didn't reset anything just yet, but he's got the kill that he needed. Now, more importantly, that is double summoners down for Arxy Slash and the flash for Locktran. So overall, 4 summoner spells blown. Flash down for Executioner Ken as well. And that is 4 summoner spells for just 1. Diverger did use his flash there at the very end. Wasn't very effective, but it did force out a lot more summoner spells from SJSU. So a kill on the board, usually that allows the jungler to start with a Spirit Stone if he wants to, even though it is so early on. But I think it might have been too early for that much gold. So picking up an early pink ward as well as Rejuvenation Bead, it's going to be a very strong start to the jungle for Locktran. Of course, he won't have Splash, though, and that actually could be a big deal. Of course, also the big deal is that there's a Rocket Jump first start for Tristana, so no Explosive Shot her ass. And Executioner Ken will be very, very vulnerable to ganks if he puts himself in a really rough situation. Big benefit for UBC, at least this game, is the Arxy Slash has no summoner spells. He's going to be very, very immobile, at least until he picks up his Glacial Path. He hasn't actually gotten that just yet. He is level 2, but hasn't skilled his second point. That's actually really interesting. Arxy Slash is saving his second skill point to know whether or not he wants to go aggressive and pick up his Ring of Frost, or if he wants to go defensive. Now, Proof of Purchase. This is where you need to flash, as Locktran can't escape from Proof of Purchase. But he's actually going to get flashed out there. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and Proof of Purchase walking right into the enemy jungle, but now behind enemy lines. Arxy Slash gonna have a little bit of a problem here in a 1v2. That's not where you want to go. Proof of Purchase now, he's out of the fight, but Rumble's coming down here. Might not be a great place to be Bobshin right now. Ignite's coming down there. Last auto attack's good. All of a sudden, Jakiro might be in a rough spot. He's gonna be forced to flash away. Look at this unrelenting aggression through the jungle. Proof needs one more auto attack. He's coming back with double buffs. And more importantly, a double kill there, picking himself up 2-0 already off of that roam. Not a good collapse there. SJSU, they fall behind in the early game. This is going to be really rough to stabilize from. Not only because, I mean, Proof of Purchase is not afraid about walking into the enemy jungle. Honestly, that's where he should be right now, but he's actually going to maybe let off a little bit of that and go back and take his own buff. Hasn't been to his own blue buff just yet, so he's going to be taking that one down, using those cooldowns to make himself even more of a threat out there in the jungle. And more importantly, he took the buffs away from Locktran, so this is a just refreshed blue buff Lee Sin versus a Kha'Zix who doesn't have any. So even though First Blood did go over to Locktran using his summoner spell Flash, winds up biting him in there in the end, giving away double buffs to Proof of Purchase. And of course, that is the big story coming in here to the early game. Now, with that death for Jakiro in the top lane, that is going to take a ton of pressure off of Diverger, even though he has primarily wards in his inventory. It's still a very, very rough lane for Maokai. Jakiro just AFK pushing the wave in there. Ice Path in onto Bobchin, so he's actually taking a lot more damage than I expected him to. Level advantage, of course, for Zed over Lissandra. Death is kind kind of going to do that to you. And Lysandra comes back into lane with an amplifying tome, which is actually kind of interesting because usually you'd expect to see the armor spec early on. But in the range versus melee matchup, sometimes having that extra ability power is really going to set you good in the lane from being able to just trade that harass right back at you. Jump in, forcing out the flash immediately in the bottom lane. Remy might actually still die here. Exhaust there onto the beach, so he's going to force his flash out too. Incredibly aggressive start down in the bottom lane, but flash forced out there by Baby Brandon. He is going to go away here. Locktran is going to get chased out by the sapling. No! Speed there on a Diverger, but Executioner Ken's got his team's back. Locktran and Baby Brandon are out of there. Flash up in 30 seconds for Locktran, so he will have that up, and it'll still be down for a couple minutes. There on proof of purchase, so a little bit of discrepancy there. We'll see if Locktran can maybe make it back. Blowing those double flashes bottom lane. And now actually, oh, he's coming back in for another gank. I'm thinking that sapling actually saw the gank coming back, so probably want to pop that little guy if you're trying to go back for a gank down bottom. So got to keep an eye out though on in the mid lane. RC Slash using that ice path, but the death mark following him out there underneath the turret. That is not where Bobchin wanted to go. Popping down from that from the ignite, and oh, Locktran's got a snipe opportunity. Not able to land it there with the void spikes. Could have picked up an easy kill on a Bobchin, but winds up just taking an easy turret shot instead and letting Bobchin back. Out alive, no! The flash in! Executioner again! He's going for the big plays, but he's actually going to wind up going down here. The last turret shot, he's got 56 HP. Not sure what that was about. Pretty manly, if I do say so myself. And this is Executioner Ken, keep in mind. He lives up to his name. Executing? I suppose that is the right word. Across the map. That guy hates staying bottom lane. He's like the Gosu Pepper of the North American collegiate scene. It's like, why would I be bottom if I can pick up kills elsewhere on the map? Of course, it works a little bit better when you're playing guys like, you know, maybe Braum, maybe Leona. Those roams tend to work out a little bit better. But on Janna, you can still see him trying to go for those big plays in the mid lane. Pretty manly, if I do say so myself. But, okay, so Jakiro started out with a little bit of a rough start top lane, but he's been bringing it back. Death apiece for those top laners, Rumble, with a solid advantage. He's actually picked up a cloth armor, which is highly strange for me. I think he just went back with an odd gold count. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike, Shield on a Baby Brandon, forcing out that safeguard. Pink Ward in that Tri-Brush, getting a little bit of that. Oh, bounce over the wall is going to come in there. No reset from it yet. And actually, the damage turned right back around. First finds the kill, but he winds up giving one right back away. Teleport's still up for both top laners. We waiting to see. Actually, no, it's actually down for both top laners. Jakiro's just now coming off cooldown, means that he'll be able to join the fight, but has to watch out for that twisted advance, canceling his teleport. Big early kill lead, specifically in, for proof of purchase. He's got a killing spree out there. I guess it's not a spree, but it's 3 kills coming his way there. 3, 1, and 0. But look at Jakiro, man. This guy is just shoving around this top lane. Might have to watch out just a little bit. He actually cancels his overheat. He's level 6, so I want to throw out that equalizer. He's not going to worry about staying alive there. Sapling coming his way, takes him down. I actually thought he had that scrap shield cooldown up, but apparently it was not. Maybe he just didn't hit the button in time. It's going down. Proof of purchase, though, going a little bit aggressive. Bobchin still in position to go in on this. Has that death mark available. Lee Sin over the wall, though, at Wraith Camp. Not looking to dive this just yet, so Arc really needs to clear out this wave at his turret. Does so at the cost of his Ring of Frost. 11-second cooldown. Actually, a total of 13.5 seconds if you want to look at it that way. It's a big cooldown to use in that matchup because what you want to do is get jumped on with a death mark, wait for Zed to come out of his shadow, and then Ring of Frost him and back away with your Ice Path. That's the counterplay. You can also just go ahead and ult yourself. Lysandra, a great counter pick to Zed because you kind of come with a free Zhonya's in lane. You don't necessarily have to rush that one out. Baby Brandon getting a double bombo combo coming his way. To be Choi landing all those rockets means that Baby's down to about 600 HP in lane. Not where he wants to be. Big focus though on the mid lane. You can see Jakiro's rotating down. He sees Proof. Gonna get that smite on the red buff. But 1v2 here for Jakiro. Needs to throw down that equalizer ultimate as quickly as possible. Flashing away. He's got the death mark on it. Not gonna pop though. The chase coming in. Bobchin hits the R button. He's out of that fight. Safe and sound. Diverger's got his back. So Bobchin going big in that fight. And actually, you can see Proof of Purchase piece the scene as fast as he possibly could. Ward over the Baron buff's going to get him out alive. And he's Now gonna wait for this counter at the blue buff. Gotta keep an eye on the bottom lane though, as Baby Brandon's still taking that damage. Eye of the Storm still gonna be able to stop some of that bomb damage, but RC Slash and Lockjaw actually back out of the jungle, not wanting to go for the 2v2, even though ults are down. Or at least Bobchin's ult is down. Proof of Purchase actually has his up, so kind of curious as to why he didn't stick around in that fight maybe a little bit longer, but rough jungle even after that first blood for Lockjaw. He is not having the strongest performance this game. 3-1 versus a 1-2, and keep in mind that one kill, not actually all that much damage out there. Eye of the Storm there on Executioner. We're going to block a little bit of that damage, but Lockjaw is tenacious. There is the ult, jumping in onto Bobchin, going to go down immediately. Ice Path there, but Proof of Purchase got the ult. Kill coming back in. RC Slash, of course, able to pick up not only the kill, but also those buffs, more importantly. Did use the Ignite to pick up that last little bit of damage on Bobchin, who actually almost made it out alive. That was pretty impressive to watch that survival. So Bobchin dies in his turret. But Proof of Purchase able to bring things back. I always say Proof of Purchase just because that is it's like what I keep thinking of, but it is actually Proof of Payment. Though I suppose that's actually the same phrase. Like, I suppose we could have like an existential quandary about whether or not Proof of Purchase and Proof of Payment are actually the same, but it is actually Proof of Payment, so gotta get that, gotta get the credit where credit is due. Baby Brandon, he might die from that bomb. Oh my gosh, lives with about 90 HP. Gotta get that insect back from the Executioner Ken. He's trying to set up there for Lockjaw, but what are you doing, Baby Brandon? He's going back in on that summoner heal and bounce back out. Executioner Ken's gonna pay for this with his life there. Oh, nice little outplay underneath the turret. All those turret shots coming back. He's still got the auto attack damage that he needs. Diverger teleporting into the last minion underneath the turret to take out Executioner Ken. Baby Brandon are so low. 69 HP there. The survival for Executioner Ken and Baby Brandon. He is making it out of there. Just the skin of their skin, or chin. Their chins there. I'm not very well versed in my colloquial nursery rhyme metaphors, apparently. But Dragon, coming off the back of a very strong duo bottom lane performance for UBC, will be secured at 12.5 minutes. That'll go over to UBC, giving them a 3,000 gold lead here at only 12 minutes into the game. So big advantage being formed there, and primarily that is off of their mid and jungle synergy. It's so big for Bobchin and Proof of Payment. God, I can't believe I messed that up. But all right, we're back in this. We got confirmation. Jakiro left all alone in the top lane after the TP bottom from Diverger is going to take a turret. That will, to some extent, make up for the Dragon. But at the same time, if Dragons respawn, you can get as many of those as you want. Turrets do not. So taking that global objective off the map evens the score in turrets at 1-1. Between both teams. SJSU really needing that global gold objectives to come back in this game, but I mean, they have a decent Baron control team. You got Rumble ult to zone for the big team fight, Kha'Zix for the resets and the execute if you're just looking to burst it down. Vision control coming up, it's good for UBC. They're keeping their jungle about as safe as they can, and really, if you're RC Slash, you're actually in a pretty vulnerable position. Rushing a Zhonya's Hourglass is a great item, but it's not going to be anything very aggressive. Remember when Chris, the top laner now for Team Coast, used to run Lissandra. I used to play at top lane with a Deathfire Grasp, and it's just like you blow the guy up, but can't really do that in the meta of super tanks. Not going to work out too well for you, but still interesting to see Zhonya's Hourglass, fairly standard build there for Lissandra. Talking about the positioning and rotation back down to the bottom lane for UBC. They took the Dragon, coming right back, and use a little bit of that ward coverage that is still surviving in the green and pink ward, just to steal away the blue buff. So no blue buff for RC Slash. You know, he's got a passive for that, but still gonna be a little bit of a rough spot here. Top lane, the trade's coming in. Mid lane, turret has been killed, but look at Lockjaw. He's just positioning, kind of waiting, baiting for a proof for to be Choi or somebody to walk into that side brush. Nice zone control there for SJSU, as that will allow them to take down their second turret of the game and really bring this gold count back to not quite even, still about a 1,500 gold difference, but they're coming back, and turrets are a great way to do that. Now, they do have to watch out for that mid lane, should be where the next focus for UBC is. I see them already starting to, rotate group up there in the mid lane, and nobody there to defend it except for Locktran, who will get dove almost instantly if he sticks around there. The ability to revive is just a little bit too big. But actually, talking about objectives, Proof of Payment, the rest of the UBC squad have really been denying the buff control so far. Really, they've had the buff control, really marauding Locktran, killing him in the jungle at level 2, and then continuing to steal his buffs over and over again off the roam from just mid lane. Bobchin, kind of the buddy system there with Proof of Payment and Proof of Payment. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I keep screwing that up. Now I'm just afraid of screwing it up over and over again, but it is payment. I don't know why I kept saying purchase. It's the same thing. Come on, guys. Remy and Beachoy poking out of the turret, but wave clear is too strong for Lissandra, who will come back to lane with a completed Zhonya's Hourglass. So that, to me, is the biggest buy that's going to change the flow of this game. Because not only does that completely destroy any chance Bobchin has of exploding RxZ Slash, it gives him a lot of armor, so maybe a little bit less effective in taking that harass. And Locktran might be in a little bit of trouble, or Dijurger rather, might be in trouble. He's gonna turn on his ultimate, he's got that damage reduction, but there's a big equalizer. Proof is there. Jakiro trying to run away from this, needs the 2v2, but that's the combo there used by Lee Sin. Proof flashing in, Lee Sin, there's the kill. Well, 1v1 there. Locktran needs the Q, but he can't find it in time. Even with the rocket coming out over the wall, it is a 2 for Zero Exchange. UBC, man, putting some numbers up on the board. Not sure where the board is. I guess I tentatively say the scoreboard, which much to Jimmy's dismay is not an actual board. No substitute for Plank out there. Proof, Dijurger, Beachoy, they're pushing out the top lane. And like I said, dragons respawn, turrets don't. So one downside to turrets not respawning is that they stay up there on the map for you to take down. And just persistent gold out there. That's UBC are picking up. This is their second turret. They tied that score right back, and they're up to an even stronger 2,500 gold lead. 3,500 gold if I can get my basic addition up to only one back canceled there by Executioner Ken. That is what the K stands for, if you guys are wondering. It's like, why is it Executioner K? Does he just have a vendetta against Special K or something? I think that's what his team calls him when he makes a bad play, but we'll see. Bobchin still pushing up the bottom lane. He's not afraid, but oh my goodness, Executioner Ken, just stop it. You're literally the most annoying champion. He stopped the back there for Dijurger twice in a row, and I think he might actually let him. He's going back into it. He wards it out, gets the auto attack. Dijurger can't go back to base. He's tried 3 times in a row, and no, Ken, don't do it. He's gonna walk around the corner, and okay, well, he's not gonna actually stop it. No, he gets the tornado. Dijurger, he spent about a minute in this top lane just trying to recall. Oh my goodness, the most difficult recall of his life there. Dijurger finally makes it back to base the hard way, and will pick up his Rod of Ages power spike. So it's not necessarily a power spike. It's something that, he's going to stack up over time. But like we talked about, that counter pick there, Rumble's supposed to dumpster that top lane, but with a 0-4 score just off the roam. Rumble not in a great spot. Still up in CS though, so that'll that'll still put him in a good spot up in the top lane. Still, Rod of Ages big power spike for the Maokai. Nobody really respects the AP scaling on Maokai. They're just like, okay, he's a tank, his abilities do some damage. Rod of Ages actually makes them ridiculously effective, and he's got red buff too, so really rough for that. So off of that top lane losing, really nothing left for Jakiro to do up top, so should see him rotate down here for the dragon, but he's actually running back up top lane. Like, that's not where you're supposed to be, man. You're supposed to be down by dragon with RxZ Slash, slow on the rotations for SJSU, and that will lose them their second dragon of the game, now down by about 4,000 gold. It's not looking good for our heroes there if you're an SJSU fan. But with those dragons and really just solid objective control over the course of this entire game, you can see maybe not the individual outplays in the lane phase, but when it comes to the team play, when it comes to just the straight up rotational objective control, UBC, they've got it in spades. Now, recall the base for Bobchin. He's looking for what looks like a Last Whisper to come out. No, he's actually going to go for the Blade of the Ruined King completion there, and maybe look to put that pickaxe into a Maw of Malmortius. Should be a Last Whisper, though. It makes a little bit more sense. But Word clear coming out, man. Executioner Ken, MVP of this game right now. He's got the best score on his team. He's been stopping backs, clearing wards, really just doing everything for nothing. Puts another ward over the wall, not to really any avails. There is a pink ward placed out there by Remy. So, at least the big thing to talk about right now has been UBC's objective control. Now they're looking to control yet another one here in this mid lane turret. Now, RC Slash has something to say about this. I don't think that UBC are really going to disrespect him quite that much. Executioner Ken, vulnerable to the insect, but not going to blow all those cooldowns just to get Janna into the middle of the enemy team. A big time bomb ticking, though, for UBC is going to be that bottom lane there. The baby Brandon Tristana, it's carried so many games for SJSU, and if the game draws on late enough, man, there's nothing that beats a 6-item Tristana. Like, it's just not going to happen. Maybe the Zed assassination attempt is good enough, but I mean, you're just going to buy a QSS for that. Now, attempted engage. There is the Entomb. We're looking for Beachjoy. He's going down there, but will get revived there by the Zillion ult. And now the counterplay is Dijerger. You're looking to come back in, but the Equalizer's making this fight anything but equal. Locktran under the turret, picks up the kill, gets the reset on his jump. He can't jump out from the turret in time. And off the biggest equalizer of his life, Chikiro coming back in with a huge rumble ult. Breaking the team and my vocal cords at the same time, and a big team fight win. Hashtag SJSU win. They're going to lose their bottom turret off the split push from Bobchin, but they're losing base turrets, man. UBC getting crushed there in the mid lane. And while their split push may have worked out, their mid lane team fight did not. Big push up the mid lane. Now, no turret or inhibitor take. Okay, no, wait, what did... RC Slash... I barely caught that off the side of my vision. I was like, following the inhibitor being defended. And I was like, alright, well, that's how you lose your 1v1. It's on your hourglass too early. Perfect bait out there by Bobchin, winning the 1v1, but, big push now up the mid lane. The counter push for UBC should be strong enough to crack this first turret at the mid lane, and that'll once again even up this kill score on turrets. But big guard over that wall. Executioner Ken gonna get the slow off on approved purchase, but no further chase to him. One good thing about Executioner Ken is that he knows his limits. He's all about making these big plays out there, but still does have a lot of self-control. Now, not sure why Locktran's not stopping Proof's counter jungling there. Just takes the red buff and makes it back over that Baron pit with a Q. Doesn't actually take the red buff, sorry. Now we're looking to see baby Brandon with that red buff on him. He is actually very strong Tristana, like Tristronga or something along those lines. No Infinity Edge just yet though, because he did go for the static shift pickup first. It's more about a lane phase and wave clear kind of situation, which is what baby Brandon needs. He needs to be able to kill minions extremely fast, get that CS coming his way, get the gold to push him on to the late game, and that Infinity Edge power spike will be huge, but he's actually fallen pretty far behind to be Choi. To be Choi maybe without that kill, but with about 30-40 extra CS. Let's go ahead and check out the gold count. Only actually a 200 gold difference, but the Trinity Force power spike is really going to be where you're at as far as damages for Dabeat Choi. He's going to win these 1v1s as long as he wants. The Trinity Force is way too strong in those. Now, the Eye of the Storm may make up for that differential, as you can see baby Brandon sitting with that Eye of the Storm at about 250 AD, whereas Dabeat Choi, Trinity Force just sitting at about 200. Still very strong there, and without the Eye of the Storm, I'm farther ahead. But, I mean, you can't get away from Tristana's range. If I check that out during this pause, we can see that the range is sitting at 649 currently. Baby Brandon having a lot of that. Speaking of having a lot of something, apparently there's a little bit of lag from the dorm internet out there, so we still have yet to get RC Slash back in the game. The rest of SJSU still feeling the struggles of their dorm internet. We taking a little bit of a break probably while we wait for that to come back. The internet connectivity struggles of SJSU continue. While they deal, we'll be throwing it over to a little bit of music, taking a quick break, come back after the pause is over, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink there. Solo casting, the struggle, you know, we'll be coming back in just a minute, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the exciting conclusion to SJSU versus UBC. And we're back. Didn't actually take all that long, so thankfully everybody back, and hopefully the lag has subsided. Maybe Brandon, with all those turrets gone in the bottom lane, it's going to mean that he's going to be able to CS that lane at turret. So the split push only somewhat effective for Bobchin, unless he can actually get up to that turret and go for the dive to kill Baby Brandon off. It's actually not going to be too difficult, but Bobchin is entrenched in that bottom lane. He's got the pink ward behind him, so he always has a safe place to run. He's actually got the support champion in Zillion down there. Remy is his bodyguard for that split push, and if you're SJSU right now, you gotta have the big rotational calls. Either you 5v5 all in for the push up mid to win the game, because there is no nexus, or there's no inhibitor turret there to stop SJSU from just walking into the base. What's going to stop them is the split push Zed, which is actually recalled. So Bobchin maybe looking to take a split push up to the top lane. I actually think that's a little bit better. When you split push bottom, you're trying to draw pressure away from the Baron area, so your team has a better chance of getting there. But when you split push top, you actually are there to rotate in for the Baron if your team decides to go for it. And if not, then they can just push up mid, which is a really good rotational opportunity to catch your opponents off guard. So jockeying around the mid lane, I actually would have liked to see the split push continue. You can see man, Bobchin, he's looking to go back down there. Might actually go for Dragon. I don't know if he's, yeah, he is actually going to start Dragon. That's going to take a lot of hit points away from him. He'll be about half health when he finishes that out. And none the wiser, SJSU just going to give this one away. Once again, like I said, Bobchin going to take a lot of damage out there from soloing it. But with the smite coming in, proof of payment, able to get back in there. I'm just going to try to say his name like correctly 100% of the time. Actually, wish I had never done that. But it's the biggest thing to watch out for, though, is going to be these power spikes starting to come in. We got Last Whisper completed there for Bobchin. We got the Trinity Force, and now a Bloodthirster build there. Usually you see Corkies go for Infinity Edges nowadays, but looking for the lifesteal there. A question for me is, I guess Bloodthirster for an 80 carry, the shield is all about the 1v1. If you're an 80 carry with or without Bloodthirster, it's going to be what wins you the game, or at least the 1v1 duel. So the shield's good, the lifesteal's good. It's just a great item there for Beatroy. It's also going to help out his rockets, though no more so than any other BF sword item, just because they all give the same amount of attack damage. Big difference, though, is going to be in the Infinity Edge completion timer here for Baby Brandon. He needs to head back to base and grab that, and that's what he's doing right now, but might not be the best time as both teams kind of jockeying here for position around that Baron buff. With a pink ward placed there in the Baron pit, that means that there's no possible way for SJSU to establish vision control of the area without actually coming the long way around and being forced to fight there. Immediate twisted advance. Perfect jump backwards there by Locktran. Actually disjointed the twisted advance hitbox, forced Maokai to go to a space that was further away from him rather than following his jump all the way back. Now it's actually Diverger's chance to stop the recall there from Executioner Ken, but nice ultimate actually pushes Proof backwards a little bit. Once again, no commitment there from Locktran. Go all in for that fight. Disengage from the Baron buff. Keep in mind, the Baron threat is not actually all that high for SJSU. If UBC step into that Baron pit, they're going to lose their base. So SJSU, they've got a lot of pressure just off of having that mid lane turret down. And you can see Baby Brandon, I feel like he doesn't realize how strong he is, because he's got a Lysandra as the front line, he's got an Equalizer in front of him, he's got everything that he needs to be like safe in the back line, but he's just, I feel like he's a little bit scared of what's happening. You can see that instead of sending the 80 carry to split push the bottom lane, they actually have Jakiro going down there for the 1v1 instead. Tristanas, they love to split push, they love to get all that CS back up there, but cannot afford to have your 80 carry that far out of positional rate. There is actually the knock up there. Slow's gonna come in there. I'm not sure if that was worth the Executioner Ken flash. The nice slow there onto Diverger. It's gonna be the one forcing the fight. Executioner Ken taking a lot of that upfront burst damage. There's the insect onto Baby Brandon. Immediate death sentence there from Baby, or onto Baby, but he flashes out until he stays down. Death mark to the popper is actually not gonna do all that much damage. Nobody's touching Baby Brandon. He's just getting auto attack, reset after reset. Baby Brandon coming up huge. 40-second death timers now. This could actually just be the game. An incredible team fight. Perfect positioning there by Baby Brandon. He had so much stuff thrown at his face. He had bombs, insect leg, Lee Sin kicks where you're looking to just snipe him back into the middle of the enemy team. Death marks, Bobchin flashing in after him, but just couldn't find the damage. Not gonna mean the end of the game, but most likely a Baron buff coming up, as well as the first inhibitor of the game here for SJSU. Big props though too for Executioner Ken to man up and start that fight. Actually lived after that. I don't know, I think this might be the most impressive part of this. Has his Monsoon back up to make sure everybody's good. Hale and Artie underneath that's Baron buff right now, and it is gonna be a free buff for SJSU. These guys just don't give up. Like, how much further does UBC have to be ahead in order to win this game? They have been ahead like upwards of like 5,000-6,000 gold. Still unable to close this thing out. Now right back to even. You look at the score or the gold count. It's identical with that ward kill. Okay, now it's not. It's 100 gold off, but you get the idea. This game could not possibly get any more even. I guess unless the teams were tied in kills. But even turrets, even gold count. It's pretty ridiculous. Now you do have to look at where the strength lies there, and for UBC, it's in the same place that it always has been. Mid and jungle synergy. It's working out. Proof of Payment and Bobchin, both just incredibly strong this game, and no wards here around the dragon area. It's up in about a minute. I feel like maybe UBC mistimed that, or they're just looking to make a pick off of this blue buff, but oh, Locktran, don't do it. He sees the blue buff. Proof of Payment's gonna go in for this one. Gets the snipe over the wall. Smite's good. Proof. Kind of surprising Locktran there. He actually didn't have his smite available. Oh, he actually did. He slowed early. Never mind there. Deathmark on Jakiro. Zani's Hourglass gonna stop that damage, but where do you go? You drop the equalizer and hope your team's there to follow up. RC slash to the zone out the rest of the team. ABR Brandon gonna jump all into this one. Jakiro's got the follow-up. He's got magic in him, and that magic is a team behind him. Baron buff and a kill there on a Diverger. No tank line now for UBC, and what do? And the answer is give up everything. Gonna lose their red buff, most likely gonna lose that push down bottom lane, so not all that many objectives gonna get lost off of that. So just a red buff and a turret, but still, that counter engage there just so strong from Jakiro. UBC thought they had a pick, and it turns out it was them. It were they who were the ones who were picked off. So a little bit of a surprise there, and now maybe starting to feel a little bit of pressure coming in here to the late game. This is when Tristana's gonna start to scale up. You can see no Last Whisper. That's a little bit questionable for Baby Brandon. He's going up against a lot of armor. Frozen Heart, Randuin's Omen. You're gonna see a Randuin's there on the mid lane too, or maybe an Archangel or Guardian Angel for Bobchin. This is Last Whisper time. LASTWISPERBOYS, if you know what I mean. There for Baby Brandon, but he's opted to go for the BF sword route, so maybe wants to sell off one of his Doran's blades to go for a Last Whisper rush after this dragon. But interestingly enough, this will actually be the first dragon of the game taken by SJSU, so they know what's up, and they're actually able to sort of take control of that objective, which has actually belonged to UBC all game long. So this game one throw away from being over for UBC. It had such a strong positional advantage and just objective control all game long, but against the Wombo Combo team comp, you lose one fight and that can lose you the game. They've lost two so far, and they've lost some big objectives off the back of that Baron buff. One of them, and actually about to run out in the next 20 seconds. So if you're UBC, you just gotta turtle this one out. Wait about 15-20 seconds until that buff is out of there, and then go for your engage. But honestly, engaging onto a Rumble is a really rough thing to ask for. Bob's coming out there. Remy's doing about as much as he can. Got a nice slow there off onto Jakiro. And with the respawn of that middle inhibitor, Super Minions are not going to be that big of an issue. But you can see immediately SJSU recognize a big power point for them. Just walking in the mid lane. Have all 5 champions here. Just looking to poke things out of there. Baby Brandon's got the range. Looking for the kick in there. Proof of Payment's going to land it. But a kill on the inhibitor. Safe and sound. SJSU back off with another inhibitor kill under their belts.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Red team's turret Unfortunately, it's out of here, but it does make it 6-5 and a very lucky recall there by ArcZ/. So it's gonna get him back to base. Game's starting to get into that sort of like critical mass phase where you win one team fight, you win the game. Of course, it's going to be a little bit easier for SJSU because they, of course, do have that inhibitor down in the mid lane. It will be down up until Baron respawns, so it will still be an issue. Super Minions, in that respect, will help SJSU take down the Baron if they want to take it for a second time in a row. But I think the rotation to clear out bottom lane is probably the best option as far as objectives for SJSU right now. They need to crack the base, and taking out a bottom lane inhibitor, or at least the turret down there, makes Baron all that much easier because you have a long way to go if you want to get up there for the buff. Split pushing intensifies. It's going to be a 2-3 split. Somewhat interestingly enough there. I don't really agree with that. Bobchin will be able to stop the super minions from coming into the base, but you need the Tristana bottom lane to push as much pressure onto this bottom turret as possible. You can even send Jakiro in with an Eye of the Storm and a Scrap Shield on there, especially if you get the Scrap Shield in the danger zone, just so that Tristana can auto-attack this turret. She's also got the Bloodthirster Shield all the way stacked up there too. So this is where we would want to see Baby Brandon. Oh my gosh, one static shift proc and Remy's at half HP. So Baby Brandon sitting up at about 300 attack damage with that Eye of the Storm shield on him. 350 with it on there. Proof goes in, goes down, unable to get absolutely anything off there. Diverger's in the back, actually will take out Baby Brandon. You can't peel the trees, but it's gonna get pruned out there in the back line. Diverger, not a whole lot of place to go. He overheats off onto Jakiro. He's just gonna be flame spittering in his way into the base there. Diverger might actually go down here. Monstrous bombs coming in. It's a triple kill. Oh, baby, a triple for the B Choi. A quadra out there as he takes out Executioner Ken. And I don't know how much more you got to do as Baby Brandon, man. That guy took everything but the kitchen sink thrown at him that game. Finally wound up going down. Luckily, neither one of the tactical nukes actually went off. But yeah, it's a difference of the 80 carries. Baby Brandon won his team the previous team fight, and well, Tabi Choi's winning his team this one. Of course, you got to give an honorable mention to, you know, the soldiers who sacrificed their lives. Bobchin diving the back line super hard. Proof went in there on a suicide mission. That guy was trying as hard as he could just to get to the back line, and it paid off, man. Baby Brandon out of there. Not sure what Tabi Choi is doing. All right, he's going to get the TP off from Diverger, so at least he's got somebody to help him take out this turret. Proof's there for the smite, and this will be a Baron buff off the base defense, the inhibitor defense, and, well, the inhibitor, well, double inhibitor defense. They defend the mid lane from being pushed all the way in. They defend the bottom lane from having the inhibitor taken. Well, here is the Baron buff. No steal there from ArcZ/. Might have gone for it, but Ice Path not the most reliable of Baron's stealing abilities. So right back at you, UBC with a Baron buff of their own now, tied at 16-16 in kills. They're still down 2 turrets, and those are 2 base turrets, more importantly. But now, I mean, if you're SJSU, you're like, hey man, we took their base turrets, took their inhibitors, let's go do it again. You can't do that against a team that is so late game oriented and has that Baron buff on them. Not probably a recipe for success I would recommend. Just putting that one out there. I would not have expected any less from both of these teams. Like we said, 2 titans of their divisions. I don't say that just like hype them up. They are actually like the number 1 and 2 teams in their conference. Actually, it's SJSU is tied for first place, and then in the next spot down, it's UBC. So I guess technically they're in 3rd place, but whoever wins this game will actually go up to first place. Everybody tied all there at 4 wins apiece with UBC's earlier victory tonight over Oregon State University. So UBC, they're not giving this one up without a fight. They are almost giving this one up with a fight, but they've been able to bring things back and win that last team fight out there. Tabi Choi is a monster, but you have to keep in mind that it's 4 kills apiece spread out across the entire team there. If you look at total for UBC, so if you look at total gold counts, you can actually see 14,500 gold for ArcZ/, Locktran, and Baby Brandon. So those guys are massive right now. Whereas the only guys with 14 gold on UBC are going to be Bobchen and to be Choi. So carries pretty equal across the board, but the big difference here comes in junglers. A 4,000 gold advantage for Loctran. Excuse me, puts him at a very, very strong place right now. He's got, he's actually building offense on his jungle Kha'Zix. You know, that's cool. You really need a Hex Drinker in this situation because you're gonna get blown up by magic damage sooner or later. It's just a good item. Mob Malmorty is especially good late game, but instead he's just picked up Black Cleaver, Last Whisper, Spirit of the Ancient Golem, or Spirit of the Elder Lizard rather. That one other offensively oriented jungle item. But yeah, they're just too good. Loctran has got so much damage. The Wombo combo is what wins or loses SJSU this game. If they go in with a big equalizer, like at this turret, just a hit, you know, Jakiro, if you want to go in on this, turret's going down, and team's going in. RC Slash in that stasis field is going to come out of it, though, with a big execution attempt. Loctran's jumping in. He finds one, gets kicked out immediately. Looking to go in there, but Proof of Purchase is actually going to... Payment, rather, is going to be going down there. One more auto attack. Baby Brandon, so strong, but for how long? Baby just walks forward, and Bobchin's just going to execute him. Now it's 60-second death timers. UBC, they find the kill in the team fight. Baby went for full offense items, and no defense is there. Can't keep him alive long enough. It's going to be UBC taking out the base turret, taking out the inhibitor. Could look to take out the game with 30-second respawn timers. Should actually be GG unless Executioner Ken can delay the game. As long as he delayed Dijurger's back up there, he will actually get his way back to base in time. Executioner not getting executed, but the base not quite so lucky. UBC trying to pull this one out there. Don't have a minion wave, and are they just going to take up this turret? They actually should have enough. There's the Eye of the Storm, the shield. Executioner Ken try to get out of here. Will flash away Bobchin. Grabs the ace off the back of that, delaying as long as humanly possible. Coming out the base there, RC Slash is going for the kills. He pick things up, gets the DFG. Bobchin, he needs a couple more auto attacks. The Nexus, so low, is it enough? No! SJSU, they defend their Nexus. Oh my gosh! Now 360-second death timers there for UBC. They defended just long enough. Oh my goodness, and oh my goodness is right. Is this OMG? Are their Nexuses invulnerable? The answer is unfortunately no, but damn, that's close. Holy hell, Nexus survives with about 600 HP, and very important that Loctran went back to kill that ward by the Nexus, otherwise you're just asking it backdoored by Dijurger. This game is ridiculous. Holy expletives. Like, what is going on here? Oh, Dijurger. He's getting spotted out by a ward. He's gonna get 1v1 here. Loctran should be able to pick up this 1v1. He's actually not going in for it. That is a little bit questionable, but now Dijurger in a rough spot here. Can't teleport back to base, and there's no CC from Kha'Zix that will stop him from doing that. Just gonna find him out there. Jump over the wall there. Loctran stealthing in there. Wants to start to get on to Dijurger and at least force him back out from this. They're just gonna collapse and kill Dijurger for the easy win, if they can get that one down. Now Dijurger needs to turn his ult on. He's very, very tanky, but is he tanky enough there? All that armor shred coming in from Loctran. Not gonna be with the Doctor Order. Dijurger tries for the back door, but not back enough, and gets spotted out by a very good base defense ward, and great play by Loctran. He was hanging back a little bit towards the base for that express purpose. Didn't want to get back toward. Had enough armor penetration. Now, oh, Jakiro, big team fight in the mid as Bombkin takes out Baby Brandon. Could this still be the 4v5 win? RC Slash, he's gonna go down. What is SJSU doing? They just all walked mid to die. A 4v5 fight, and they still lose it. And in a somewhat anticlimactic ending, UBC will take the game here. Loctran's gonna try to go in 1v5 and get the victory, but nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Can't find the win. I'm just a little bit in shock right now. It was a 4v4, actually. Loctran didn't group back up with the rest of his team. They just kind of walked into UBC and died. Little bit of an anticlimax, a confusing end to the game as a whole, but an incredible performance, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed the last 43 minutes and 14 seconds of your life maybe just the last 43 minutes. Because that last push up the lane, ugh, gosh. But a great game, and I would have expected no less from both of these teams. An incredible performance from both of them, all the way down to the Nexus Living with less than 100 health. Like, you can't ask for a closer game from two closer or more evenly matched teams here in NLCS. And now with this win, UBC actually take top spot in the Western NLCS division over teams like Texas A&M, like SJSU Gold. They're the top dogs so far coming after tonight's game. So once again, congratulations to the University of British Columbia. They will pick up this win, establish first place in their division, and end the night with a 2-0 victory. Not quite a win streak, but we'll call it that, as they are now atop their division. So congratulations to them. Remy, Proof, Bobchen, to be joined, Dijurger. They're holding it down, and so they will pick up this win in a very epic 43-minute game, 26-22, 9-7 in turrets. So congratulations once again to them. Can't say it enough, and a ridiculous game to end the night on. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And of course, if you did enjoy the show, make sure to support NLCS. We could not do this without you. So thank you so much for viewing. Make sure to disable your ad block for when we run ads after the broadcast. And for more information, if you guys want to check out standings, rosters, sexy player pictures, we've got it all at ncspa.com. You can also find NCSpa on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and of course this Twitch channel. So drop a follow across the board there, and we appreciate your support, not just this night, but every night, for coming out and watching some great collegiate League of Legends action. With NACC starting up soon, it's just going to get more intense, so here's a great place to start. So I do appreciate everybody for coming out and tuning in. Of course, if you'd like to talk about the games, I'd like to talk about them with you. So head over to Twitter, and of course, use the hashtag NLCS. But if you just want to drop a tweet my way, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/rapidcasting. I'd love to talk to you about tonight's games, so head over there and HMU. And in the meantime, we're going to take a little bit of a break. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. So we're going to be done for tonight. Hope you all have a fabulous evening. Enjoy the broadcast. Stick around.